5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hanging with Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, GW Pomichter and Christian Basel. Who are you hanging with?
Hello, Krypton Radio and World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, man. Hello to all of our listeners. iHeartRadio, iTunes. I lost the list. It's huge. It's just a giant list. The syndication list for the show is getting bigger and bigger, and it's amazing, and it's so much fun.
You went iHeart, iTunes, I lost the list.
That's right. iHeart, iTunes, I lost the rest of the list. So...
That's how we function around.
We're here tonight, and we're getting ready. Christian and I and Sage and Dina, we're all getting ready to head to Cosography this weekend. And it occurred to us that, on the show we've talked about cosplay. We've talked about our, major conventions that we've gone to. But what about the role that these smaller community conventions play in helping to build and maintain a sense of community around our geekdom, the things we love. And so Cosography is a great example of that. It's a one-day event held Saturday, June 30th. It's all day long, and it really is just a chance for the really local community cosplayers and just comic book shops and people to come together and foster that sense of real community, friendship, instead of just seeing each other once or twice a year at these major events. So I know, Christian, you're going to have a big Cosography debut.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time. I've been trying to fight my neuroses. I think that's the term that you use. I just never been a big fan of cosplay. I've always kind of looked down on myself as a person who would dress up or anything like that. So I live vicariously through other people, stunning, beautiful people that we have: Victoria, Lauren, Amelia. I'm forgetting names, so please help me out before somebody hurts me for not.
We've got Amelia, and we've got Katrina, and we've got Lauren Edinger, and of course we've got our good friend the real Aquaman and Charles Watson,
Tia,
Space Coast Superman, Tia Reish. We've just got so many great friends in the cosplay community, and we get asked a lot. A lot of us on staff here, if we're going to cosplay, and I guess I always tell people I am cosplaying because I have the sports coat and the button-down shirt, and I'm doing my thing at every convention. But I believe it or not, out there on Krypton Radio, even right now, doing the show, I'm in a T-shirt. I'm a normal person. I don't always wear the sports coat.
I just play one on TV.
That's right. I just play one on TV.
You're not cosplaying the most interesting man in the world. Is that what you're not doing?
Yes, that's it exactly. Yes.
Hey, wait, I haven't seen you in a while. Have you shaved the beard?
I did. It's coming back. It is coming back now. It has to come back for branding purposes. All of our artwork and everything. I've got the beard. So, but I did. I had broken out underneath my beard, and I had to shave it off in order to clean those pores out really good.
Well, we can always draw a beard on you like Cosplay Michael if we need to.
It's valid. It's valid.
Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. That's right. I will cosplay at. Oh, she gave me the sad trombone. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to dive into more about Cosography in our big plans. But before we do that, we want to check out some pop culture news with Seijiya.
I love that. For you.
I do.
Yes,
I love that you have your own intro. I love that you have your own intro. It's kind of nice.
I love it too.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
We can tell.
So, we have leaks in the news.
We have leaks.
We do.
The news is leaking.
The news is leaking, yes.
And it has adult diapers anywhere near it
Oh.
to prevent such things.
We have a little of both. I have adult leakage, okay? Jodie Whittaker, her footage from the new Doctor was leaked.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, people went crazy over that.
Yeah.
The first episode is supposed to premiere next month at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But we had a little bit of
It
footage.
really,
leakage.
though, it wasn't, as leaks go, it wasn't like spoilery or anything. It was just fun. It really wasn't. I mean, here's what we know. We know Jodie Whittaker's the next Doctor, which means there will be a regeneration, which means there'll be a reintroduction of the Doctor, like there always is, to a new group. So what did we see in the leak? The new Doctor, right after regeneration, basically introducing her version of the Doctor to what I assume will end up being new companions.
She was very Doctor-esque, though.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
So really, what did they give us other than it visually that we didn't already know?
I have a conspiracy.
Well, it's a marketing plan.
I know. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I was talking to Gene Turnbow, our friend from Krypton Radio, CEO of Krypton Radio, and he put out an article from KryptonRadio.com, and I was reading upon it, and I saw the video, and I said, "Do you really think this is a leaked video?" He goes, "Yeah, it could be. It could be." And I said, "It's too good, and it's too specific of an area, because if you've been paying attention to Doctor Who, and when they premiere a new Doctor, it's always a small portion of the scene after their post-regeneration." And I said, it's not like that this is leaked, leaked that we know a critical part of the story, or it's a leaked ending. Nope. It's her post-regeneration for practically 1 minute.
Yeah. It's exactly what we know is coming. And it is, what I think is great about this is that BBC is very good at putting together great drama. And one of the only drawbacks the BBC's ever had is that quick-paced marketing machine that Hollywood has. And this shows. We saw last year, Game of Thrones, 4 episodes, quote, leaked from HBO.
It shot viewership through the roof.
And amazingly enough, HBO Now's subscriptions went up like 400%. Because once you gave them 4 episodes, they wanted the others.
Mm-hmm. Well, and BBC suspiciously has no comment.
Which is not, again, to me, it's not suspicious. It's just confirmation. This was brilliant marketing. You had a clip. Somebody was allowed to get their hands on that clip and share it. And bam, now you've blown up interest in the franchise, especially after a long hiatus. They've been on a long hiatus while they shot this. So
it's also that it just seems to be, it just happens to be the post-regenerative scene. It happens to be exactly 1 minute. I mean, it used to be, when they would premiere something or they would show something, they would put a trailer out. Now we're leaking footage. I'm like,
I think it makes people
whatever.
It's better clickbait. It's clickbait.
It is.
It's clickbait, yeah, and it gets you will probably be more prone, and especially somebody who's not a Whovian or a Doctor Who fan, or maybe just in the middle, that if you hear something is leaked, you'd rather watch something that was leaked out rather than something that was put on a trailer or a promo or something like that. It seems to have more enticing.
It feels like you're being slightly naughty, right? You're like, I'm looking at something I'm not supposed to be looking at.
Well,
speaking
of naughty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you heading with that direction?
I have, well, it was intentional because he did it on purpose, but it's millennial leakage.
Millennial leakage.
Millennial leakage, yes.
Wow.
Well, Tom Holland was at Ace Comic-Con in Seattle, and he did one of those 30-second Instagram posts for video, and he just happened to have his script in his hand and flashed it everywhere and leaked the name of the new Spider-Man on Instagram. It's Spider-Man Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Again, this is a great example of how
I'm so sorry, Mr. Stark.
It's a great example of how that leak machine works, because we know that scripts sometimes have working titles on them. It may or may not be the title of the Spider-Man movie, but that is unimportant. What's important is the internet is a Twitter. If you see what I did there. Yeah.
What's important is Spider-Man is coming back.
Spider-Man is coming back.
He's alive.
He's alive. That is a good confirmation from Tom Holland.
But they're saying, I think one of the producers said that it was actually supposedly taking place before the Avengers movie, or at least they're throwing out things to make it sound like, we're not sure if Tom's Spider-Man will come back or not. This movie could have taken place before the Avengers.
Yeah, but again, they throw things out, but it's a great little Hollywood leak machine because it is marketing. It's the same as a teaser or a trailer in the theaters used to be, 10 years ago. But right now, that clickbait mentality, if it says leak, if it's like, hey, this is naughty, don't look, everybody looks.
Here's the thing, Sage. When you said, speaking of something naughty, there's also a picture of Jodie with her sonic screwdriver. And I would say a good majority of the people who I've shown the picture to, or have showed the link to Krypton Radio, who have the picture, said something about her Sonic that kind of wasn't probably kid appropriate. And
here's
looking
the thing.
About it, I'm like, how did the designers do this? Why?
The Sonic screwdriver, I think, has always been the BBC. The BBC is wonderful at innuendo and double entendre. The sonic screwdriver has always been the Doctor's sort of phallic symbol. And now that we have a female Doctor, there's a new way to present it because you have a female Doctor holding this wonderful because it's been a male thing. No, it isn't. It really isn't. I think
you're really stretching
this. The reality is no. I mean, this is the thing.
That's what she said.
It is the notion, the man's toolkit, whether it be a sonic screwdriver or a toolkit, has had a phallic implication for 3 generations. This is what we do. Like, you're like, what's his name? Tim Allen there. I'm going to fix things with my big phallic tool set. But now there's been so much hype over the last 9 months about Jodie Whittaker becoming the first female BBC Doctor, and we specify that because we talked earlier about the idea of there being a female Doctor already. But the first female BBC Doctor, and with 9 months of discussion on this, it makes sense that let's play with the idea of the Doctor's, I'm gonna break Christian again. I'm gonna say tool one more time. That's right. Now a woman is holding the Doctor's tool, and there it is. So, all right. So you know what? We're gonna get. We have more news. We really do have more news. But before we get to more news, we're getting told by our control room here we have some commercials. We have wonderful new sponsors on board. So we hope you'll take a minute and enjoy some of these book teasers and these commercials and support some of these fantastic artists. So we'll be right back. Until then, stay tuned in, stay logged on, and see who we're hanging with next.
From author Julie Morgan comes this epic erotic fantasy, The Concubine and Her Vampires. Olivia Martin's sole purpose as a blood demon was to be little more than a blood bag to a vampire master. Then came Jared and his 4 brothers. Now at the center of her own vampire harem, need, lust, and blood drive Olivia further into a life she never considered possible. The Concubine and Her Vampires by Julie Morgan is available now on Amazon.com.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Michael with the Hangin with Web Show, and you're listening to Krypton Radio. And remember, cosplay's for everyone.
From author R. Kyle Hanna comes The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. How far would you go to clear your name? Jake Cutter, convicted of a crime he didn't commit, is plunged into a battle for survival in the notorious Kleenex prison. Tormented by his captors and haunted by his past, for Cutter, it's all about revenge. R. Kyle Hanna's The Jake Cutter Conspiracy. Get it now on Amazon.com.
All right, welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel. Look,
And
it's got settings.
And we're laughing our butts off over here over the phallic implications of Facebook and internet memes of Jodie Whittaker with her sonic screwdriver. In addition to that, it's amazing. I was listening to the commercial break while we were off the air, and two fantastic new sponsors, two great books. We had the very first one, as soon as we get done discussing these phallic symbols in our sci-fi, is Julie Morgan's hot romance novel. That's just fantastic. And then
what a lead-in!
What a lead-in! We gave him a great lead. And that is what's the Concubine and Her Vampires. So it's a fantasy erotic romance.
Reverse harem.
A reverse harem. Mm-hmm. Did you hear the way she did that, Christian? It was like you just set out a buffet. You know, boom. Yeah. So, and then of course we have the Jake Cutter Conspiracy, and that one is again sci-fi, fantasy, space revenge tale. Ooh. Yeah, it's like Judge Dredd on steroids, man. It's awesome. And so we hope that you guys will check those books out. We're going to dive right back into the news. And I know where we were. Never mind. Where are we going next?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going from leaks to rumors.
Leaks? Oh, to rumors. Oh, gossip is always good.
Gossip is good. There is a rumor that Patrick Stewart is going to return to Star Trek as Jean-Luc Picard. He's 77 years old.
77 years old. He's coming back to the small screen, right? CBS is doing this?
Yeah, well, CBS announced plans to expand the Trek universe. They did a 5-year deal that runs through 2023, for those who can't count, with the Discovery showrunner, Alex Kurtzman, and they're doing some new shows. There's going to be one with the Starfleet Academy. They're talking about an animated series and an as-yet undisclosed limited series.
Limited series.
Limited. Well, Patrick Stewart's 77.
That would limit you a little bit.
Yes.
But not a lot.
Maybe he'll be an instructor.
Look, I've seen Patrick in things the last few years. He's not that limited.
No, he's
at 77.
spry.
He's pretty spry.
He is. He would be an awesome Starfleet instructor.
Yes.
Is he going to be Picard? Or is he doing something?
No, he's reprising his role as Jean-Luc Picard, according to the rumor.
Yes.
Again, we do want to let everybody out there on Krypton and iHeart and iTunes Radio know that this is a rumor that's circulating. It isn't confirmed yet.
He's excited. He likes the idea.
Well, so
according to the rumors.
According to the rumors, he likes the idea.
He likes the idea, yes.
So people are talking to like Ian McClellan to get their rumors because they're like besties rumors. So,
nice. They're
like, hey, Ian, is your buddy going to do Picard again? So, yeah, that's cool, though. And it does show that the kind of the interim between Star Trek franchises always produces a hunger for more Star Trek. And we talked on our video segments last year with Christian about Star Trek and its many iterations and about Discovery. And even though it was very, very different because it was in the universe of Star Trek, I think it really did help to ignite this fervor to get a more classic Star Trek iteration. And bravo CBS, man, they're doing it again.
If they do a Starfleet Academy, I think that's a great way to pull some of the younger audience into the Star Trek universe.
Oh yeah, you're kind of like one of these young shadow hunters or one of these type shows in space with Star Trek.
Exactly.
So you get a teen young adult drama.
What do you think about Discovery? Do you think this is the right direction that they're going in?
Yeah, I mean, I do, actually. I think Discovery brought a new audience to the Star Trek community, but additionally, and I don't think I saw it at the time, because I saw the new audience coming in. I saw the people who loved the story and the flavor, but what I heard from the older Trek community was disappointment with the changes. So what I think is helped to do was show CBS and more importantly, some of the young executives at CBS that there is still a hunger and a thirst for a more classic style Trek. And so you've done both things with this show. You've managed to hook some new people who are going to be excited about the Discovery style Trek, and you've managed to convince all the executives that you need a more classic style Trek. So you've reignited a franchise.
Right, but I think it's at the cost of the old Trekkies, because I'm one of them, and I was very disappointed. I hadn't continued.
But that's my whole point. Would you not watch a new version of, say, Next Generation now, if you were given it? I mean,
I don't know if they did everything that they did to Discovery as far as paying homage
that's what I'm
to
saying.
the original.
I don't think they're going to. I think Discovery is going to be its own thing. I think what they're going to do is answer the Trek fans' call for a classic style Trek.
Yeah, because the new stuff is all independent of Discovery.
Of Discovery, that's right.
Yes.
So this is what they're going to do. They're going to ride that, and they're going to bring both audiences on board, because they're going to have the Discovery audience and the newcomers over here, and then with the other hand, they're going to say, oh, and here's a little bit of the Trek that you know, and bam, there it is. And when you bring back a classic character like Jean-Luc Picard in Starfleet Academy, you've done it, man. You've hooked them. You've brought back all of those people.
This was the criticism of people of the original series or people of the Next Generation about myself, is that they didn't pay homage to previous, as meaning that there's nothing besides, and this is the question I bring to a lot of people, besides in the title, what makes Discovery Star Trek at all?
Well, number one, Sarek, in one word, because you've got an entirely new pre-generation. So you've got something that fills the gap between Enterprise and the original series.
But it doesn't work.
But it does. Because at the end of the series, as soon as you introduce the idea of time and dimensional travel, you've solved all of that series' problems. Arguably, from a directorial standpoint, they probably should have introduced that concept earlier in the season. But by the end of the season, you've shown us that this is about temporal displacement. It's a different dimension. It's a different world. It's a different universe. You've introduced the multiverse to the Star Trek universe. And so that allows you to bounce back and forth in a way that J.J. Abrams did on film. Because the reason he was able to do the second Star Trek film was because he established in the first one that this was a new timeline. New things could happen in the same time as the original series. And by doing that, he gave us a younger version of Khan. He gave us a new take on an old story. And in doing so, I think one of the things he did was he made it so that Chris Pine became a more acceptable Captain Kirk, because his attitudes and things harkened back. It reminded us of the Wrath of Khan, right down to the eating the apple on the Kobayashi Maru, and you harken back to Wrath of Khan, where Bill Shatner is sitting there in the garden, and he's eating the apple, telling the story of the Kobayashi Maru. So they were able to do things by introducing a multiverse concept, and so Discovery at the very end of the season does that very well, shows that this is a multiverse concept. We're bouncing in and out of different universes based on this new travel that is classified and no one knows about. So it does work very well in the fluidity of the universe once you add in the fact that this is a top secret covert war happening on a temporal level. In the way that they did in Enterprise, when they introduced the idea of the temporal war happening 500 years after all of our treks, influencing modern sociopolitics and Starfleet, and the formation of Starfleet.
So they have a reason why, and I hadn't seen Star Trek after the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I didn't even want to pay for access after I saw them. Like they're not paying homage to the past. So one of the questions was, even though Sarek is there, see, what I'm trying to convey with it, and Doctor Who's the perfect one, when they rebooted the series in 2005, they could have just thrown the whole thing away and said, you know what, Christopher Eccleston is our first Doctor, we're starting new, the TARDIS is now a porta potty or something like that. But they decided to keep that lineage because of all that history. Now, going into Discovery, when I first saw the first 4 episodes, I was like, what the hell is this garbage? Because I didn't know what was going on. They had this thing called the Spore Drive.
Yeah.
Sarek, who is there, remember, the storyline between Sarek and Spock is he did not want Spock going into Starfleet Academy, but he's going to pick up this kind of adopted girl.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
he
again,
basically disavowed his
do
son and then brings this girl in, and now she's in Star Trek. I'm like, what the hell is that all about?
They actually did a really good job in later episodes through flashbacks and other things of showing the relationship between Sarek and our main character. I forget the name in Discovery. They do a really good job of explaining that relationship and in actually explaining the difference between encouraging her to go back to Starfleet and not encouraging Spock. One of the things, and they deal with this really well in Discovery through flashbacks and peeks inside Sarek's life. One of the things that they explain is that one of the things that he wants for her is for her to, while she embraces many of the Vulcan teachings, to go back to her people. Remember, Sarek from the original series, pre-movies, pre-cinema, Sarek from the original series is sort of a Vulcan racist. I mean, he really is. So he teaches her the Vulcan way, he raises her in a Vulcan tradition, and then he sends her back to her people. Similarly, he does not embrace the human side of Spock for many, many years. So he doesn't want Spock to leave. He doesn't want him to go to Starfleet. He doesn't want him to embrace his humanity in any way. He sees Spock as a Vulcan, and he wants the Vulcan science community to see Spock as a Vulcan, not as a half Vulcan, half human. So when Spock makes the decision to reject the Science Academy and to move on to Starfleet, Sarek is, amazingly insulted by that he would choose his human heritage over his Vulcan heritage. And while they don't go into great detail, when you combine those scenes from Discovery with existing footage of the Sarek and Spock relationship, you really do see a parallel world here. This is a good example of it's poor storytelling from the perspective of introducing something new. Because whenever you introduce something new, part of your exposition is tying it into the old so that people have a continuity they can follow. They didn't do that with Discovery until later on, but it's a great example of epic storytelling. Because epic storytelling is where one builds on top of the other, building on top of the other, building on top of the other, until you build an epic. And Discovery did that with its last, I think, 3 episodes, really. You learned about the alternate timeline. You learned about the alternate dimension. And we've had alternate dimensions and timelines in Star Trek since its inception. There were 2 or 3 episodes in the original series where we swapped timelines to the evil. Remember the evil Kirk with the goatee? And, so they did some crazy things back then, and this took those and built on them. Because you know what? We've never had, since the cinematic universe launched, we've never really played with those things. The Next Generation did an episode where they played with that idea of alternate versions of people. But they don't do it often because it's hard to do well. And I think one of the things that science fiction directors want to avoid is what they consider the original series Trek blunder, which is to make an evil version of yourself. You just give them a goatee and pointy eyebrows, and all of a sudden they're evil. That was. But remember, Roddenberry is limited in.
Is that why you're growing your beard back?
That's right. I want to be the evil version of myself.
No matter what, though, Discovery is a sweet ship.
It is. It is a great ship, and the idea that it's when we get back to our universe, where these people return to, and we find out what's going on. The idea that this is a 100% covert ship, that everything that's happened is being simultaneously classified as it goes on, so that there's a reason why the Enterprise, which is at this particular point in time probably floating around out there with Archer on board, and then the Enterprise, which is coming within the next so many years, they don't know about this stuff. And the reason for that is because this is all being this covert war is being classified every mission it happens. So the spore drive, which fundamentally changes the Star Trek universe and how we get around, nobody knows about it. It's one ship with this thing, and that ship keeps popping in and out of the dimension. So, okay, that's not going to be here very long. So you have that going on. We have to take another commercial break. I love it when that happens. I love it. We have more sponsors. Yes. I want to, by the way, out there on Krypton Radio and on the World Wide Web, we have massive shout-outs here in the Hangin' with Web Show office to Dina Marie and Sage Ia, because they're the ones that deliver the hell out of these sponsors and these supporters. So, guys behind the camera, behind the mics, great job. Christian and I really appreciate you, because that's why we have jobs. So, all right, go ahead. And, guys, stay tuned in, stay logged on, see who we're hanging with next.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
How you doing, everybody? This is KG Bethlehem. I'm an author of a new book called Certain Moments of Time. It's a collection of short stories. These short stories range from post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anti-utopia, as well as general fiction. You can find Certain Moments of Time on sale at Amazon.com, where you can purchase the ebook format as well as paperbook format. You can also purchase it at Lulu.com, paperbook format, and will be on sale soon at BarnesandNoble.com.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your five senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
All right, we're back. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel, and you know what? I think you've convinced me. I might change my mind. I don't know if I'm going to pay CBS for it, but like a bump it off.
I will admit that I did not pay CBS for it.
Oh, okay.
I will admit that I waited until the entire season was
That was
finished,
a brilliant idea, yeah.
And then I signed up for my free week. We binged it, and then we canceled it. So
that's a brilliant idea.
You know, I hate to do stuff. I believe in paying artists for good work. I really do. I hate to do things like that. But I'll tell you, one of the things about the CBS All Access that I have a major problem with, even from the artist perspective, is CBS is a broadcast network. And for those of you out there on web radio, for those of you who listen to the radio in your car or watch TV with your antenna at home, broadcast is just that. It's a free-to-the-user medium. When you broadcast, the user doesn't pay. You get paid on the other end. You have to be a smart business person and make sure that you get advertising dollars and sponsorships and, you know, things that the Hangin' with Web Show does every single day to stay on the air. And the idea that a broadcast...
They don't run commercials during it, do it?
Yes, they do.
They do.
And so the idea
that's rude.
that a broadcast network would turn around and charge you for access on the Internet, another free medium, by the way, it's offensive to me, especially when I see that the other broadcast networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, are all are all putting out their content in a web version, free of charge, advertising based, just like their broadcast services. And then even the premium channels, if you have cable at home and you have HBO or you have Stars or you have a sci-fi channel, then you can simply log into their app with your existing cable account through Bright House or Time Warner or DirecTV.
Ooh, it's Spectrum now.
Spectrum now. So you can simply log in using your cable access to their app so that you're not paying an additional fee for the same content. To me, that makes sense.
Well,
I'd be okay
I'd be okay if they did what they did with Pandora, which is you can listen to us for free, but you get all these commercials and you can't skip songs. Or if you want to pay the $6 or whatever they're charging, $10 a month, you get no commercials and you get to skip the songs that you want. I can appreciate that because you're getting some kind of incentive, and you have a choice.
The incentive, I think, CBS sees the incentive as introducing CBS Access only content that's exclusive content, i.e., Star Trek Discovery. And I just don't think that's the way it's played. I think that was a miscalculation. I think in the long run, it could be the same kind of miscalculation that Blockbuster Video made when they assumed that everybody was going to keep their DVD players and that they were going to always have to have brick and mortar stores. That miscalculation eventually cost them their business. And in CBS's case, I think it probably is going to cost more in the long run than it makes in the short run. But again, I could be wrong. I mean, people might want to pay to see that stuff, but I didn't do it. They offered a 7-day free trial. I said, sure. I binged the show that I wanted, and then I turned it off. Because there's no reason, there's nothing else there except for normal CBS content, which I already get vis-a-vis contracts they have with Netflix, Hulu, and cable. So again, I didn't see the percentage in it, so that's the way I did it. And if anybody wants to do that online, this is not a hack, it's not a cheat, it's not anything else. It's actually CBS provides the opportunity perfectly legally for you to do this. So have fun.
Well, and you know what Discovery is a great opportunity for?
What's that?
New cosplay.
It is. I think when we see conventions up the road, we're going to see some new Klingons. We're going to see some new aliens. The little kind of the I refer to him as kind of the vegan in space guy.
Oh, that's horrible.
No. The guy in Discovery. He's like the super pacifist,
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The science officer.
Yeah. He's
the science officer.
Yeah, he's a science officer, and I think he's going to make a fun cosplay for somebody who likes to do prosthetic makeup. That'll be a lot of fun.
Whoever comes up with the Klingons, I hope they can do a better job than what they did on the show, so that the Klingon cosplayer can actually speak without having to.
I actually want to see because I get that again. We go back to the original series, and the Klingons were just kind of Fu Manchu-y. They were sort of, but that's the way. But
that is true.
They were stereotype Asians, is what they were, and worse, they literally were. They were a combination of our worst instincts in the 1960s. They were stereotype Asio-Africans. You notice the paint and everything, the body paint. So, however, by the time we got to the films, we had the nice foreheads. And then later on, we had different iterations and the longer hair. And then now we have this new Klingon variation that I think is going to be a lot of fun. To see somebody mashed together. To see Klingon mashups now. How many different?
Ooh,
yeah.
I like the mashups.
I love the mashups.
Do you know at Cosography coming up this weekend, they are having a workshop about mashups.
A mashup workshop at Cosography? That's fantastic. Who's putting that on? That's going to be amazing.
I don't know if they told us who's putting that on.
They don't. They got to tell us something. We have some great people that are there. We're looking forward to little cosplay. Michael's looking forward. He's going to be doing his Harry Potter alongside the Florida Con artists. And they're going to do a sorting hat ceremony for the visiting kids and families that come in.
Bold City Cosplay, by the way. That's who's hosting the mashup.
Bold City Cosplay is doing the cosplay mashup panel, teaching about mashups, how to mush things together in your favorite universes. I love those cosplays. I really, truly do.
Yes.
I've seen some amazing mashups. I also like the gender bends, where you take a male or a female character and bend it into the other gender.
Oh, we've seen some great ones.
And they are fantastic. There are a lot of female gender bends. Like, a lot of people will do like a Lady Loki or a Lady Thor or...
Anastasia, who we talked to recently, did Cable.
Yes, from
awesome.
Deadpool, which, again, fantastic stuff. So I like the gender bends, too. But the mashups show us more about the cosplayer and about their personality, because you can see two different characters or more that they enjoy, and you can also see how creative they are in putting those two things, reconciling those two worlds. And it's a lot of fun to see that. Christian, you teased us a little bit about your cosplay. Any other big hints about cosplay this weekend? What kind of hints can you drop to everybody before they come to see you?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I from what I know in the community, and it's not downing our Space Coast friends or any of our Central Florida friends. In fact, I was kind of taken aback when I mentioned to only a few people who I was cosplaying because I needed some advice. Our good friend Lauren Edinger, I mentioned it to her, and she literally just spoke the language of the TV show. She was just spouting it out, and I was like, "You watch this?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I know what it is. Not the cosplay, but yes, the show.
Okay, you know the show. Okay,
you know the show.
Well, I don't know if I can drop many hints, as I have told people that I've had dropped hints beforehand. So if you've been paying attention to anything that I've said, you've probably seen a few hints come out.
Okay. Well,
that's all. I hate to.
I have to go and look at Christian's Facebook pages again, so I can see if I can find all of his hints, all of his little dropped hints.
I think there's only been one or two hints, and somebody actually got it. So I am not going to. Yeah, I dropped the hint.
Leave it to those social media fiends.
And he actually mentioned a line from the show, and he goes, "You're not going to be doing this, are you?" And I said, "Oh, you got it. That's why I can't drop hints."
Well, it was the show
because
that
somebody got it. Luckily, he's not.
What's that? The Sage and I are thinking about then. There's a lot of fun characters in there for you.
Well, luckily my friend is in the UK, so he's not going to drop the subtle hints that I've been dropping around, or at least he's not going to say anything. But he mentioned it, and I was like, "Dang, that's why I can't say anything because I will have released it." So,
well, I have a not so subtle hint about a different cosplayer.
What do you got?
Cosplay Michael is also going to debut a new cosplay at Cosography.
He is, in fact. And he's already started to show some of his makeup tests on his Facebook page.
Yes, he has. More leaks.
More leaks. That's what we should do. Little leaks, mini leaks. Cosplay Michael mini leaks. Cosplay Michael will be introducing Mini Thanos at Cosography. And after he gets done with the FloridaCon artists at the sorting hat ceremony, he will be donning his mini Thanos for the first time. And for all of you cosplay parents out there who have young cosplayers, makeup, boy, I hate that. I have really not enjoyed playing with the makeup for this cosplay. It's just too much everywhere.
But he loves having a bald head.
He does love having a bald head. It is. And
is he shaved, or did you put a prosthetic?
No, we built a prosthetic.
Wow.
We took a nylon stocking, and this is good for all of our cosplay friends or whatever. Cosplaying on a budget. We took a nylon stocking and we cut it to fit his head, and then we bought fabric paint and painted it the same shade of purple as the paint for his skin, and then we let it dry really well, and went through and touched it up a little bit, and so it looks like a purple skull cap, and he puts it on and he's bald.
So cool,
and he loves it, and a little spirit gum, and it's all good, and so he's got his own homemade skull cap, and then of course we built the helmet for Thanos, and we built the armor. And we worked with him very closely to get it, miniaturized because, he's 7 years old. He's much smaller than an actor that we would build this for. So it was a lot of fun to build. And, again, the body paint was the only thing I didn't enjoy. We have another commercial break coming. She's flagging me back there. I love that. Another commercial break. Outstanding. Guys, when we come back, we'll finish up our last 15 minutes. We'll tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to do, more about Cosography, more about our favorite pop culture properties. So stay tuned in, stay logged on, and see who we're hanging with next.
Discarded by Michael J. Allen. In a world where magic is sold like designer coffee, unknown forces have corrupted it, and it's killing people. Now, an unlikely hero emerges. A homeless ex-con creating spells out of a trash can is the only one who can save the city. Michael J. Allen's Discarded, available on Amazon.com.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
Greetings, true believers. This is absolutely, positively not Stan Lee, reminding you that you are listening to Krypton Radio. Krypton? That's the other guys. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Excelsior!
All right, we're back. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter.
I'm Christian Basel.
And we are talking Cosography, which is a local Space Coast, Brevard County, Central Florida convention right here. It's in Cocoa, Florida. It will be held this Saturday and June 30th. And we're going to be there. Actually, it's wonderful. We were examining the other guest list for Cosography. And it's wonderful to be recognized as a local guest for the show. So we're really happy. The Hangin' with Web Show will be there. Old Guy Cosplay will be there. Serena the Mermaid. Our great friends, the Agents of Mirth, will be there. That's fantastic. Furry cosplay. I love it because they've combined, again, it's a mashup. They've combined two passions. Their passion for the furry costumes, but with a lot of pop culture references. So there'll be Jedi raccoons and, maybe Deadpool rabbits, and you never know what you're going to get.
They are also holding a workshop about fursuiting during Cosography.
Oh, fantastic. In addition to that, we have our great friend Jamie Engel, writer, editor, cosplayer, creator extraordinaire. We also are going to be visiting with Terrence Baker, who is an artist and a cosplayer, and also another organizer. He organizes the Independent Creators Connection magazine, in addition to ICC Con every other year or so. Our good friend James Bethel, who's an artist and a cosplayer.
Well, he has something he's debuting at Cosography also.
What's he debuting?
He's from Black Panther.
Oh.
Yes, he's our villain.
Oh, yeah, Killmonger. Yeah. Fantastic. Our good friend Lauren Edinger is going to be cosplaying out there, a cosplayer, and also a fantastic entrepreneur with Lady Bird Photography. So cosplay photographs, in addition to other modeling and other photographs, Lauren Edinger's be out there, so make sure you get by and see her. Our terrific friends, Charles Watson and the Florida Con artists will be out there. They're going to be doing the sorting hat ceremony with Cosplay Michael. Good friends over on the radio with the Riley and Kimmy show will be out there. Our good friend Rick Stafford, the true Aquaman.
The true
Aquaman will be out in one of his many fantastic, photo-real Aquamans, right down from King Aquaman all the way to the the classic. For all of you guys that are in your middle age like us that remember the Super Friends Aquaman, he's even got that, and he's out there. Our fantastic...
Wait.
Yes?
Rick is also having a workshop out at Cosography.
Really?
About fitness and how to stay fit.
He would know.
How to survive after a con, because he's a big
fitness
guru.
He would know. He would. He does so many things. He really is the true Aquaman in that, he's a scuba diver and swimmer. Those are two of his passions.
And Garrett, I don't know if we mentioned this, but I think we just kind of skipped it, but it's going to be taking place at the Space Coast Convention Center, better known as the Holiday Inn Express, located off of 301 Tucker Lane in Cocoa, Florida.
That's right. Hop off of I-95 or 520.
The 520, yeah.
That's right. Hop up
right at
I-95
the intersection.
520, right at the intersection, the Holiday Inn Express there, the Space Coast Convention Center. Come on inside and just get your geek on. And so you're going to find some fantastic guests. Again, we talked about the True Aquaman. Our good friend Tia Jean, a cosplayer with Florida Con Artists, also an individual cosplayer in her own right. She'll be out there. And they'll be doing some fantastic things. And we've got another terrific cosplayer. We've got Dylan Carmarth. I can never pronounce this.
Carmarthings.
You know, if you say you're right, I believe you because I can't pronounce it. So I have to believe you. I really do.
She's going to say
Dylan,
right anyway.
Dylan is most noted for his Green Goblin cosplay. The mask is freaking amazing, man. It is crazy. And these are great creative interests. Again, we've got some comic shops out there. We're going to have some fantastic other vendors. And
what else is crazy is today and tomorrow. Today is Thursday, the show premiering. Tomorrow's Friday are the last 2 days that you can buy the tickets online at Cosography.com for only $8. You save $2 per ticket, but it's $10 at the door. It's not even that expensive, but if you want to save a little money, go for it. And I think the special, I guess it's 2 adults, 2 children for $20. They'll cover the entire of a family of 4.
You don't have to actually be a family. It's just 4 tickets.
4 tickets,
for $20.
That's a great special. Get those tickets online, guys. It's going to be a great time, and it's a local community convention. What's terrific about those is that they bring us all together in just a little less stress, a little less high pressure environment. Christian and I can tell everybody out there on the radio at MegaCon this year in Orlando, we sat in the chair and conducted over 70 interviews in 4 days. A lot of content for the show, but we missed so much of what was happening on the floor and all around us, and chances to visit with our community. And we had some great people come by the booth and hang out on set with us. From Yaya Han came by and hung out with us, and we had fantastic local cosplayers. We had Amelia Poole come and hang out with us for a while, and we had, of course, we always share our booth with Cosplay Michael, who draws in other cosplayers for little get-togethers. We had our good friends, the Kitchen Killers, acoustic band. Come by and hang out with us for a while, and right down the aisle were our terrific friends at Florida Con Artists. But we really didn't get to see that much. It was really high pressure, high stakes all weekend long. When you come to a small convention, it's a chance to really kind of relax. We'll do our job. We'll do what we're there to do, but we get to hang out with our friends and geek out over the things that we love.
Everything,
yeah. And make, super pinky in the brain, megamaniacal plans for the future.
I'd say that the difference between the two, because there's nothing against the bigger conventions and the smaller conventions. The smaller conventions are always community, family-oriented, and a lot of the times you see the same families and people coming back over and over again, and they become their own type of families. You can't do that over at MegaCon. Now, there's nothing wrong with MegaCon, but I can kind of compare them to Disney theme park versus like Sea Life or Madame Tussauds over on International Drive.
Oh yeah, I mean
there it's rush, and we need to get to this ride. We're done, and then by the time everything is said and done, you're exhausted. You've had a great time, but you didn't have the intimacy that smaller conventions or places where you can just go and walk around over and over again. You're not rushed. You can stand anywhere you want, and like Space Coast Comic-Con and Cosography, you'll have plenty of time to talk to people and get to know them better and get relationships. Something you really can't do at MegaCon. It's too loud, it's too noisy, it's moving around. But that's the type of atmosphere it is. You're there to do a couple things. You're there to see your favorite celebrity, maybe hit up a few panels, get a few items, go to a party, and then leave. Over here, you can actually entreat yourself to people who might, if you want to, get more knowledge about cosplay and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons why I love this, and the only reason why I will come out of my shell and wear a costume.
Well, it is, because it's all about
cosplay.
Family. It really is. It's really all about family at these smaller events. It's all about the community and the community that we're building, and it is. It's where we celebrate not just what we love and the big things that we love, but we also celebrate one another and the creativity within this community. I know we're going to be seeing our friends out there again, the Florida Con artists. We're going to be seeing the Kitchen Killers out there. I know Billy Floyd is going to be there, probably cosplaying with the Florida Con artists. We're going to see the Renegades, the traveling pirate minstrels. We'll be over there singing and having a good time and leading.
Pirate minstrels? That's a pirate minstrel.
Pirate minstrel. I made that up. I can do that.
And don't forget, even at our booth, we're going to have Victoria Padilla, who is the cookie dough cosplay girl, and, of course, the biggest piece, most notably famous blue piece of metal throughout the entire state of Florida, the Traveling TARDIS.
The Traveling TARDIS, that's right. So you can get pictures with the Traveling TARDIS. You can hang out with Cosplay Michael, who, in addition to debuting his Thanos, we're also going to bring some of his latest props out. He's been learning a lot more to help and get hands-on as we build. And so, as he's been learning, everyone knows, I think, out there that Cosplay Michael does a fantastic miniature Jon Snow. Well, he helped build his own Iron Throne. And we're going to bring that out and show some people, what he's been able to do at 7 years old. Because I want people to understand creativity doesn't begin when you're an adult or in your middle-aged or as a second career. Creativity can begin right there with these youngsters. And so can fandom and really getting into these things. He enjoys watching the shows and seeing the stuff where his cosplays come from and immersing himself in that character. And so it's a lot of fun. Again, we've got some great things at the booth, so come on by and see the Traveling TARDIS, see Cosplay Michael. If you're an artist, author, filmmaker, creator, cosplayer, come on by and hang out with us, sit on set. We are counting down our last 2 minutes, Christian, so we are going to let everybody know beyond Cosography. We hope we'll see everybody there. But beyond Cosography, we are set to have a presence one way or another. We've going to have a presence at San Diego, world-famous Comic-Con International in San Diego.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm lucky or if our great team from LA and the Arcane Pacific team is lucky. But I am lucky because today I got my Pro Pass in the mail. And I love that every year I go to the mailbox, I pull out my Pro Pass, and I just stare at it. And for me, as a creative artist, that was like one of the marks of success for me was the first time I got my Pro Pass for SDCC. I just sort of sat there and went, wow.
Rubs it in.
I love it. Yeah. So I got that. But I know, Christian, you'll be up at SuperCon the week after that.
The week after that, I will be in Fort Lauderdale at the, I believe it's the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center, I think. I got to look it up.
At SuperCon.
At SuperCon.
And then throughout the summer, guys, you keep catching us. We've got a lot of other things we're going to keep you posted on. We're counting down about our last 30 seconds. So as we do that, Christian and I both want to remind you, check out past episodes of the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and right on Krypton Radio. And check out every single day we drop another interview episode on the Hangin' with Web Show's YouTube channel and on our website, which is www.hanginwithshow.com. And you can check that out. Check out all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, I don't even know them all.
If you can't find us, you're not even trying.
If you can't find us, you're not trying.
Tumblr.
We're everywhere. So check out the Hangin' with Web Show Monday through Friday, especially Thursday nights for the Hangin' with Web Show Radio Hour. Also Saturday mornings, bright and early on Krypton Radio. We're going to wrap it up. As we do that right now, we want to say thank you to our partners and friends at Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason. These are the partners who propel us forward every single episode, every single week. And we just want to tell you all, remember, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.